Good morning, friends. I have some thoughts I'd like to share with you. So after seeing this shutdown, after seeing this coronavirus thing go on, I think there's some changes that we need to make. Some changes at the personal level and maybe some changes at the national level. So first change I think we need to make, I think we need to stress term limits for everyone, not just the president. We need term limits for senators and for representatives. And if people push back on that, if senators and representatives push back on that, well, those are probably the ones that need to go. We need to not have a political, such a system where someone gets into politics and they end up making millions and millions of dollars. Okay, that kind of goes in with my second thought, is we need to eliminate lobbying. We need to say no more lobbying. Lobbying is illegal. You cannot do it, because that's where a lot of these people get some big time money or maybe a future job. So if the plastic fork is lobbying me to put plastic forks in everything, and then I push a bill through that says we need to stop making things out of metal and we need to only have plastic forks, and then I get out of politics and whoa, lo and behold, I go and work for a plastic fork company. Okay, that type of stuff happens. So we need to get rid of all the lobbying. Just say it's done. We're done with it. And that way money can be spent where it needs to be spent, and we're not having kickbacks like what goes on now. The next thing I think we need to do is to have a flat tax. You know what? President Obama, I think he was right when he said everyone needs to pay their fair share. But right now, people aren't paying their fair share, and I'm not talking about the rich, okay? I think everyone should pay 10%, just 10% flat tax. Now, I personally think income taxes is kind of a raw deal, because they instituted that back a long time ago, but we didn't have that when we first started this country. And so an income tax, it's kind of a raw deal, but right now we couldn't just eliminate it. So why don't we just go to where everyone pays 10% across the board, no deductions, just 10% of your income goes to taxes. We would be able to keep more of our money. People that make a little bit of money would still pay their fair share, 10%. People that make a whole lot of money would still pay their fair share, 10% across the board. I think that would make things more fair. I think making a flat tax would be easier on us as a country, as a people that do our taxes every year, and figure out, well, I can deduct this, I can't deduct that. Maybe I get more back this way. I think it's just going to be a lot easier if we just have a flat tax. My last idea is we need to have a balanced budget. Any organization that doesn't have a balanced budget is going to run into big problems real quick. And obviously, our country's ran into some big problems. So we need to have a balanced budget. And I know you're thinking, well, they just go over and then they're going to shut down the government. Okay, well, here's my plan for that. They need to develop a balanced budget first and foremost. That's the first thing they need to do. Not move on to any other legislation until that's done. If they push it off and push it off and push it off, and they can't get it done, and they hold out, and they say, well, shut down the government, here's what I think we should do. Representatives and senators should not get paid if they don't have a balanced budget. That's the first thing. And so, if they don't have a balanced budget, and then day one past the time limit, they don't get paid. To the point where, if it goes so much farther, they start paying for not having a balanced budget. Like on a construction job, if there's a contract for this building or this site to be done in such a time, there could be written in the contract where if it's not done, the contractor pays money per day, which is like the amount of money that's being lost by the business that should be in that building. So if there's not a balanced budget by a certain date, then we stop paying representatives and senators, and that gives them incentive to work it out, figure out what is the issue and how to figure that out. And then if they don't get it by another certain date, after their salary has been down to zero, then they start paying in. Okay. So I think that's what we need to institute. We need to have a balanced budget, and I think that's the way we get there, because obviously it's not been working in the past the way they've been doing it, so we need some changes. So those are some of my thoughts on how we can move forward after this shutdown, after the whole coronavirus kind of sit in place type of deal. I'm sure that there's going to be a lot of pushback on a lot of ideas, but I think we should start having the conversation on some of these things and start moving forward to implement those so we can get a better system going. Thanks for watching, folks.